It's a new day. It has been a wild ride for everyone in our state, but especially for the families that we serve here in Grand Rapids. We've heard so many stories from our families. Most of them started with, I remember when. I remember when we heard shelter in place. I remember when I heard go home, stay there, and I didn't have a home, and I wondered where I would be. And that's where we started this year, and where we've ended now is a place of hope and opportunity and resilience. Our families are excited, kids are going back into the schools, people are back at work, and we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. So it's a new day, and we're excited to kick it off and share it with you tonight. It has been incredible, the number of people who have stepped forward. This year brought so many challenges. It brought, job loss, it brought housing loss, it brought sickness, and it just brought loss to families. But this community has stood in the gap, and we're so proud and thrilled of what has happened for our families and what's been brought forward, starting with prayers. We had so many churches come together and doing virtual prayer sessions for our families. They provided, through our Plan C with our host and support congregations, essential needs and basic needs for our families immediately. People didn't stop. They didn't stay put. They said, we need to go into action. And so everything from that to the commitment to equity, we learned during this year that 1 in 6 of our Black children in our community are experiencing homelessness versus 1 in 130 white children. And as those statistics came out, people became motivated, people became active, and they said, we have a commitment to make more housing in our community. Our city and our county went to work, but our churches did too, and our business partners did too. And we're so committed to our children. We had volunteers come in that brought, quilts. We had Second City Church make over 100 quilts for our families. The Red Glasses movement held a day and had people bring in cleaning supplies to make sure that we could get what we needed to our families who were moving home and to those in the hotel. We had our hotel partner, Grand Hospitality. We had Cummins, who provided a Partners in Housing home for our family, and turkeys at Thanksgiving, and many more things. Thornapple Mops Group that provided activities for children. They made kits. They provided winter gear. We had Court, who helped move our families home and who helped move our furniture and things from our IHN North Kent Day Center location, really backbone infrastructure kinds of things. We had our North Kent congregations who were very new when we started this last year. Peace Lutheran and North Kent Presbyterian, they just stepped up and everyone from the ground up made it happen for the families that we supported this year. And we couldn't be more thankful. I'd like to give everyone a COVID update tonight and let you know where we're at. While we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, we're still being very vigilant and making sure that we're keeping our families and our volunteers and our staff safe. We're still in the hotels. That's how we're providing shelter to families. And we are so excited to look forward to the fall at a time where we hope that we can come back into community and go into our congregations again and look at that opportunity to be back in community with each other. But in the meantime, we're doubling down on housing. We know that getting the families out of shelter and into housing is the safest place they can be. So we're investing a lot of our resources and time and talent in expanding housing. We've worked really hard to keep our staff and our families and our volunteers and our partners safe. And we're really proud that 1 year into this, we have not had a major COVID outbreak with our families that we're sheltering or our staff. Everyone has really stepped up and done their part. And so that has been a win in this COVID environment. We were busy last year. We realized, and our volunteers and congregations realized, the importance of community and the importance of our volunteers being face-to-face with our families. And it made our work difficult when we couldn't do that, but we still accomplished so much together. We had more than 1,700 individuals go through Family Promise this year in 2020. That's hundreds of families and children that were served through shelter and through housing. We had about 650 families go through our prevention programs that we never even had come into housing or shelter. We kept them safe in places that they were already residing, and we're able to still help them find homes. We've had several hundred families move out of our shelter into housing. And we're still finding homes for families and those forever homes to make kids, thrive, give them a place where they can do their homework, do online school, and parents can work from home in a safe and private space. We still had over 1,500 volunteers this year in a pandemic. We had people who said, I will mask up, I will bring food, I will drive, our business will help you move. Whatever it was that we needed, people just called and said, what do you need? So 1,700 people, 1,500 volunteers, and hundreds of children later, we've seen people in need come into shelter, but we've seen most of them go home. And that has just been a remarkable accomplishment. Besides doing the things we've always done like shelter, we've had some new initiatives this year that our staff said, let's rock it out, let's go get it. And so we started early childhood programming this year with our Ready by 5 partners that we're so incredibly proud of. We're working very hard to get kids connected with the resources in town that they need, even when they're in a housing crisis. We doubled down on our Partners in Housing program with the help of an incredible donor and philanthropist. We are going to double the size of that program this year and provide more housing for families. We've opened a drop-in daycare center in partnership with United Methodist House. We've had DE&I work going on here to make sure that we're committed to an equitable and inclusive organization, carrying out our efforts with anti-racism to make sure that we are providing a wonderful and thriving Grand Rapids to all of our community members. We still held our Christmas store in partnership with Cornerstone Church and had dozens and dozens of families come through there to be able to celebrate Christmas with that support, and opened tip housing and shared housing and other housing models that we've tried this year in partnership with some of our community support to see if we can find new ways to get people home. So on top of the things we always do and doing it with more families than ever, we still have started these new pieces of our program that we know are going to serve families and make kids thrive. So what does our future hold? Where are we going from here as we emerge from this pandemic? We are super excited that we know and we are poised well to look to provide more shelter. Last year with Fulton Manor and this year again with our hotels, we had over double the number of families that we normally have in shelter each night. So we know we need more family shelter capacity. So we're looking for it right now. We're actively looking for locations and partners that might be able to help us bring another 40 rooms of shelter online quickly. We're going to invest in more prevention resources. We're putting more of our staff to that space. We're partnering with organizations like Community Rebuilders to make sure that when people start their crisis, they have someone to talk to right away, and hoping that we can stabilize their situation more quickly. We're going to invest in stabilization for families, continuing our work in early childhood with Ready by 5, our partnerships with organizations like United Methodist Community House, and focus on helping people increase their income. We've had a lot of job loss, and prior to the pandemic, we had people coming in with jobs, and now we have to be set and ready to help them find new ones. So those are going to be some key areas that we know we're going to prioritize and focus on for our families. It's time to help each other, it's time to heal, and it's time to hope. And we are incredibly hopeful as we go into this new season that as we build more homes and we provide more shelter, we're going to touch more families and more children and help them get on their feet to help make our community thrive. And we're counting on your help and your partnership to do that. So thanks for a great year, and we're thrilled to call it a new day and be looking forward to a new one next year.